Okay, today we're going to learn part B, what was started Erev Shabbos, Lagabe, if somebody's Sukah was destroyed, if you could rebuild it, perhaps on Yom Tov or Shabbos through obviously telling L'Akum, telling to Nochri. So we're all sure about it. I had a lot of questions on this, and myself, I wasn't comfortable with coming with such a with such a ruling that there is a Hechetimsa, you could fix it through a Nochri. So today I want to just go over it further and bring more rayas that obviously if somebody doesn't want to do it, obviously it's potter because almost Rachmana Patra, he doesn't have a sukkah. But if somebody wants to do it, there is plenty mokem. There is a yesh al mashi esmoichel. Okay, first I want to bring what in Siman Shin Lamed Ches. The tour brings like this. I'm just saying, a lot of things today, we're not used to it, we don't think out of the box, it's very difficult for us to digest it. But here's what the Lashon of the Tur, Shin Lamed Ches. Because of Oid, it talks about the Avi Ezri, Shemutar loymar la'akum lenagen bekli shir bechupas. The olden days, they used to do a lot of chupas on Friday, and then it used to continue the Su'uda on Shabbos. And it says, the Avi Ezri says, you're allowed to tell a Nochri, the orchestra, to play music on Shabbos. Can you imagine somebody today would do that? No, didn't see this anywhere. But the Avi Ezri writes this, that the Torah brings. The Amira la'akum b'mokem mitzvah shore. What's the whole problem? We're not doing any chilul Shabbos v'Yom Tov. We're telling it to a Nochri to do it. He has no problem with Shabbos. He's not mechuyev to keep Shabbos. Says, so the whole problem is the Rabbanon Amira la'akum says the Amira la'akum b'mokem mitzvah shore. Ve'en simchas chosen v'kala b'li klei shir. There can be a real simcha without music. So we don't want to leave the Chosn Kala without the Simchas Chosn Kala, so you're allowed to hire a Nochri before Shabbos, you hire him, and the Chuppah done just before Shabbos, and to continue the whole thing on Shabbos, and they could sing, the Nochrim could have the orchestra playing. He says, how much more over here? The whole, why you're not allowed to bring orchestra on Shabbos, Yom Tov, even Eden to do that? That's midrabanan. Midaraisa, there's no, you could play any instrument on Shabbos or Yom Tov, Midaraisa. That's Midrabanan. If it's going to break down, you're going to fix it. Since the whole thing is Drabanan. And Amira L'Nochri is Drabanan. L'Eser L'Omra L'Akum. So that's one that again, I'm bringing this even though it's Drabanan over here. We're talking about building a sukkah. It could be Isura. The Araisa, we're going to talk about in a minute. I'm just bringing the Arzach Rishonim that they held. There is some leniencies. I'm going to go more about them now. Now, in Siman Shin Zayin, brings the Bes Yosef. Kosav Haran, Besoif Perek Rabbi Lezer Demila in Masechet Shabbos. B'Shem Ba'ala Itur. Look at this now. That's getting stronger. How much could you tell a Nochri to do? That's from the Ran. Shamutar Loymar La'akum Lahadlik Laner Haner Lesudas Shabbos. You're sitting in Sudas Shabbos and the light is off, the candles are off. You tell a Nochri, put on the light, light the candles. It says V'tamoy. Before you could argue the raya I brought from the Avi Ezri that you could play musical instrument, the Nochri could play it for the chuppah. You could say the whole thing is the Rabbanon. Playing a mule, even for Eid, playing a musical instrument, it's only the Rabbanon. And telling him it's the Rabbanon to the Rabbanon. Over here he says lighting a light on Shabbos is the Raisa. He says you're allowed to do this as the Ran. So all something machshir mila. He says the bahag matir to do it. Even isura deraisa over here also you could tell a nochri to light the candle tzoyrech so that's Shabbos. Again, have to be a shtickle tzoyrech. Okay, so that's and then that's the Bes Yosef conclusion and over there that's one I just read. Shavi Ezri hitiv lemer lakum nagan v'chlishir b'chupas da'amir la'akum b'mokem mitzvah shore. That's how the Bes Yosef concludes this. Again, so not only b'drabanon, which is playing a musical instrument, even putting a fire. Not a lot of Rishonim disagree with this Ram. La'alocha, we're definitely going to say not to be making this. No, but you're not going to see any chuppah today. People playing a real live music or any music on Shabbos. I'm talking about and when it goes into Shabbos. First of all, we don't do Kimat today any chuppahs Erev Yom Tov Erev Shabbos. The olden days they were poor; they couldn't afford a whole Suda on its own. They did it together with Suda Shabbos. But we're not going to have any coolest today like this. But I'm just saying theoretically, according to Avi Ezri, according to the Ran, even Isura the Raisa Letzerich Mitzvah, the whole Amira La'akum it's Drabanon. A guy doesn't have to keep Shabbos. Chazal told you not to tell him what to do. The Mokem Mitzvah, it's short. Now, how much we bank on this opinions? The Ran, the Avi Ezri. So I'll tell you how much we bank on it. In Siman Resh Ayin Vov, the Ramo says, I'm reading from the Ramo in the Halacha base. Yesh Omrim, the Mutar Loimar La'akum La'adik L'ner L'Suda Shabbos. This is the Yesh Omrim, it's the Ran, what we just read. Mishum the Svirele, that's the Ran, he holds the Mutar Amir La'akum Afil B'Melocha Gemura B'Mokem Mitzvah. If there is a Mokem Mitzvah, again, not Stam Azoi, Amir La'akum, they should not do anything for you for Shabbos that you're not allowed to do. It's Rabbanon, it's Shlus. But the Mokem Mitzvah, he says it's allowed to. Shalpi Zeh Nohagu Rabim Lehokel B'Dover L'Tzavos La'akum La'adik Neres L'Tzorech Su'uda U'Befrat B'Sudas Chasana or Mila. V'en Moiche B'Yodom. What Shayach B'Sudas Mila Neres? Same thing. If you made the Bris Mila Erev Shabbos, the end of the day, on Friday, and the Su'uda was on Shabbos, and it's dark, it's Tzorech Sudas Shabbos, or Tzorech Mila, so you could tell the Nochri to light the candle. V'en Moiche B'Yodom. And nobody rebukes them. I'm reading the Ramah. V'yesh lahachmir b'mokem shen tzorich godel. He says if it's not a big need for it, don't like use this as freely this cooler to tell the rova poskim cholkim al tzora zu. Then he sends you the Ramah, the Siman Shin Zayin. Now in Siman Shin Zayin, the Ramah saying like this. One second, where was it? Siman Hay. Siman Hay said like this. I'm reading from the Mechaber. Dover shana malacha when also las b'sha'el mishum shvus muta yisrael malach las b'shav shvus sheyesh sham mitzatz k'choili or yet tzarich ladover tzarich harbem. The mitzvah. Yeah. Over there, okay. Over there, he talks about. Over there, the Mechaber talks about. The Mechaber only takes this halacha only legabe inyona drabonon like la'alas le'ilan, but not isur d'oraisa. And the Ramo adds over there. And this Mechaber va'yil liel siman reish ayin vov de'esh mekilin afilu b'malacha d'oraisa. So Ramo in reish ayin vov in reish shin and siman shin zayin say twice. Yesh mekilin. Again, he's saying use it only b'shas tzorech godel. It's a big need to do malacha de'araisa. Tell a nochri to do from malacha de'araisa. Don't use it so freely, but yesh mekilin. The Ramo brings this twice. Okay, so according to this, again, I'm going back to the sukkah. The sukkah broke, and you're in a place that you cannot go to sukkah's chaveiroi, to the sukkah of your friend. There's no sukkahs around. Some people live. I said the shluchim, they live far away, and they're the only one of a sukkah. They're trying to mizaka other and to mekarev them. There's no. The sukkah broke. Was a big storm. What is going to do? So according to whatever was said in the previous shiur, and plus this Ramah and this Avi Ezri, this Ran, again, you could be tzorech godel, tzorech mitzvah. You should be allowed to do it. Now, so again, if somebody don't want to do it, fine. The most poskim saying don't do that, and you could say potter onus rachmana pater. I don't have a sukkah, but if somebody wanted to, especially by people going to be plus, it's a mitzvah plus tzar godel. But some people not to makam mitzvah sukkah to eat without sukkah tzar. Some, especially by Hasidim, they eat by the sukkah even when it's rain. With a bracha lesha sukkah. I had a shiur about this last year. With a bracha lesha, even when it's rain. By them it's tzar godel, not to makam mitzvah sukkah. So memela yesh lahem al mashi yismoch. Now I'm going to go a little bit further. I mentioned that there is a Kaf over here. Here's what the Kaf in Siman Reish Ayin Vov. The Oislam Adak Kaf brings like this. He goes on this Ramah. Yeah, when it says you could be makel l'sudas Shabbos to tell Anochri to light your candle. It says like this. Im gilu. He brings like this. Im gilu achoizim b'kachovim shebiyom Shabbos kodesh habo yilki hashemesh v'yechshech ha'olam. What we call sun eclipse. Yeah. They're going to be, you're not going to, for a few minutes, you're not going to get dark. We have it every few years. It's going to be so dark, nobody's going to see each other for a few minutes. You're allowed to call a nochri, in 1 p.m., it's going to be dark in the world for whatever time, and you will be pitch dark, you're not going to see each other. So could you tell a nochri before Shabbos, come to my house or come to the shul and put the light on at that time? So he says, yeah. Because people are afraid of the darkness. They have an agony, tsar, if they don't see what's going on. So the whole gezer of the Rabbanon, lighting a candle, it's Isur D'Oraisa. Amira, so you're telling, not for the goy, for you, but whatever to use, also the rice, you can't tell an ochri to do it. But the mokem tsar le gozur, you're allowed to tell him, he says. Especially there's a lot of children who will be suffering for this darkness. They don't see what's going on for this few minutes or whatever time it is. Or maybe somebody, Ganovim, going to come to steal. Yeah. It says, "V'ayen la'arav Shabbos shalmi bekuntres Yaakov lechoik limud dalet shenishal b'zeh v'hetir." So he brings the Kavachayim, he himself matir over here, even though he was a big machmir l'gabe Sukah. Again, but l'gabe Sukah was matir. He says, "Oh, potter, Rachmana." Yeah, but he says, "V'mokem tsar for people, some people not to eat in a Sukah is a big tsar for them." He says, "V'mokem tsar gozu rabbanon." So that's another snif laheta. Then I'm going to bring you another snif that last shiur I didn't read it right, and this is a big support to that shita. If you remember, I brought the Chochmas Shloimeh. He brought the shita of the Baal HaMoer that the whole sukkah is diras arai. It's not building. It's not a permanent building. The way I understood it, the first time I read it last week, he talked about the schach. The schach, he says, it's ohel arai. It's not. I didn't think he's talking about the building, the sukkah itself. I looked carefully. The Chochmas Shloimeh talking according to Baal HaMoer, building the sukkah itself, not just the schach. I'm going to tell you inside what he says over here. Hen emes ladas Baal HaMoer the stira sukkah. I thought he talked about schach. No, he's talking about the walls of the sukkah. Have a rak the rabbanon. According to him, to take off a wall of the sukkah on Yom Tov or Shabbos, it's only the rabbanon. Why? Oil aroy. The whole this whole construction is oil aroy because you don't build it for the whole year. By the way, now I thought about. In the house, you build a house that's oimed beruach matzuya, beruach shena matzuya. It's a house could withstand a regular wind and unusual wind. House built not every storm you destroy your house. A sukkah, it's kosher just to stand beruach matzuya, regular wind. If it's getting destroyed by a very big storm, the sukkah is a kosher. That's how it's built. A big storm could take a sukkah apart in the places where there's a big storm. He says, "Memela, it's called oil arai, the whole thing." Yeah, he says. The end noipen etzim in asu imken binyona have a rak drabonon. So something like destroying such a sukkah, taking a wall, it's drabonon. So building it is only drabonon. And v'shuv yeshna david akama b'shvuz the shvuz since it's drabonon. Telling a nochri to do it, it's also drabonon. It's shvuz the shvuz to drabonon. The shore b'mokem mitzvah. So it's have two shvuz the drabonon and mokem mitzvah the shore. Then he said. He disagrees with him, but then he said like this. Later on, he says, "Gam le'inyan migod have a doifan l'Shabbos, have a doifan l'Sukkah." It talks about the walls. It's not about. I understand the reason talks about the schach. I didn't bring the zarayah to me, but no. According to Baal HaMoer, he talks about the walls. According to him, the whole building of the sukkah is bechlal derabanan. It's not binyan kavua. It's binyan arai. The whole thing is arai. Memela, if it's only derabanan, plus I want to add one more nakuda over here that you could use. As another sniff, if you want to do it more, to make it more, less feeling guilty doing it on Yom Tov and Shabbos, if it's such a thing happen. We know that any melacha you do b'shinu, k'la'achar yad, it's called, it's midaraisa, it's potter. Midaraisa, it's mutar even, k'la'achar yad. If you do things not normal way. For example, let's say it takes, to cut a wood, takes one person to do it, you hold two people to do it. Shnaim shasura pturim, or it's already shinui. All of it, any shinui you do, it's called k'la'achar yad, it's already drabonon. So if you want to tell a nochri that the sukkah fell apart on Yom Tov and Shabbos, do it for you, and also explain him a little bit the halachic implication. You cannot do it. You cannot even tell him to do it. Tell him one of the things I need to do to make it more kosher, to do as much as you can shinuim. Don't do it the normal way. Allah doesn't have to be big shinuim as long as they save the way he does things. If it's the gan b'shin, it's already another drabon. The whole issur then to do this only drabonon because it's called k'la'achar yad. It's potter alei. You're not mechuyev on it. So the mela you use all these items. I'm going back to the previous shiur. Yes, if somebody doesn't want to do it, if the sukkah fell apart, yeah, yesh lam al mashis nocha. A lot of people say don't do that. The Kafachayim himself, the Chochma Shloimeh, and many others. The pashas that's also to do it. If it fell apart on Shabbos, you cannot, or Yom Tov, you cannot fix it. But if somebody, there's no other sukkah in town. You're mechutz l'tchum. We spoke about it also. There's no element of maris ayin over there. You're mechutz l'tchum. Nobody is there. You're the only one. And you don't want to, you have a tsar, not to makam mitzvah sukkah, you want to do the mitzvah, yesh lam al mashi yismoichu, especially if you tell the nochri to do it b'shinui, it's becoming even kosher, to rebuild the sukkah on Shabbos v'yom tov. Yeah.